Good afternoon. Welcome to Connections, and I'm your host, Pastor Kevin McGee of the Victory Temple Church of God in Christ. You're listening to us live on IntellectualRadio.com. You can also listen to us on iHeartRadio. Connections is a show designed to keep you connected to the gospel community, so sit back and relax as we get connected. My guest for today is a young woman that I recently met a few weeks ago. She is the founder of the Daughter of Destiny Outreach Incorporated, and it is a powerful women's ministry that is growing by leaps and bounds. And her name is Sandra McCoy, and we're so grateful. And she has some friends along with her that are going to help us to find out about Daughter of Destiny. And so we just want to just get right into it. First of all, I want to say hello to everybody.
Hi to everybody out there.
Hello.
We're grateful to have you with us on today. This is Connections, and what we try to do is we try to connect you to the people so that someone might hear something that you say, might want to say, hey, I want to be connected to that group. So our prayer is that after this broadcast, that someone will contact you and say, how can we get connected to work with you? All right.
Let's
So, first of all, let me say this. You are a member of Jordan Temple.
Yes, I am.
Jordan Temple Baptist Church,
Yes.
right in Hillside, Illinois, right up the street.
Mm-hmm.
And you introduce the ones that you brought with us.
Okay, to my left, my near left, I have Gloria Wilson. She is the secretary for Daughter of Destiny Outreach Incorporation. Gloria came at a very crucial time. Daughter of Destiny was having its first annual anniversary banquet. I had lost a couple of the board members, and so when God give you a vision, he also give you provision. And she stepped right in and she began to roll up her sleeves, and she got in the trenches with me, and she been with me ever since. To my near left is my dear friend Jacqueline. She came to a Daughter of Destiny about maybe a week ago. She's very new, but she has been committed thus far, and so we are glad to have her here. We look forward to this journey together.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to have you ladies here
Thank you.
with us, and we are praying that Daughters of Destiny will go into greater heights from this point on. First of all, first question I want to ask you, how was the purpose or the vision for Daughter of Destiny? How was it birthed?
Well, actually, Daughter of Destiny was birthed out of my own pain, hurt, and abuse. I've been through a lot in my childhood growing up, and that pain that I encountered led me to Daughters of Destiny. I first began to volunteer at a women's center. It's a shelter for women, and I was volunteering there. And in my essence of volunteering there, I believe that passion and purpose kind of met, because I began to experience something inside of me that was, it was magnificent. I was like volunteering for 8 hours a day, and I was doing this like amazingly with no pay. And I was okay with that. And it brought such a joy to my heart. And I was helping the women, and they was coming to me, and I was loving on them. They was loving on me. And I really believe that that's when I believe that it was already there, but that ignited it. And I believe that when I began to answer the phones, when women were called there and they didn't have no beds, and I didn't have a place to say, well, you can come here, or you can, get on the waiting list, that kind of put a burden in my heart, and I was like, God, I wish I could open up my own home one day and serve these women, so it's been my passion. It's been a joy. But like I say in the beginning, I've been through the storm. I've been through the rain. God brought me out of darkness into his marvelous light. And it was a struggle for me. Drugs and alcohol was my essence. It was something that had a grip on me. And because of what I've been through and how long it took me to come out, how long it took for God to lead me out, it gave me a passion for those that are still in it. And I want to help them. So that's how I got birthed.
Okay. And you said because of your own personal pain, your own personal struggle.
Yes.
And many times in ministry, the best people that can reach out to certain individuals are the ones who have gone through.
Absolutely.
So many times we try to reach out to individuals, but we don't know their struggle. We don't know their pain. We look at a person that was hooked on drugs, and we try to rationalize that they ought to be able to just let it go.
Yeah.
But unless you've been there,
My God,
you don't know the grip that it has on you.
That's right.
You might can stay clean for a few days, but all of a sudden the appetite builds up in you.
Back up.
And so, but when you have somebody who's been there, been in the trenches, been through the fire, been through the flood, they know the ins and outs. Now they can minister to that person more effectively. Likewise, those that have been through abuse. We do know that October was the month for domestic violence awareness. And we did a show on that early, and I believe we did a show actually on that at the end of September. But we don't limit that to just 1 month, because domestic violence is something that's prevalent, not just prevalent in our society, but prevalent in the world today. And so we want anything that comes in to combat that. That's something that we want to push and something that we want to focus on. So we talked about how it was birthed. And I love your story. I love your testimony. A lot of people are not transparent. They don't want people to know where they've been. But we thank God for your testimony. Tell me, what are the goals of Daughter of Destiny?
Okay, the goals and the visions is kind of like where we are now. The goal is to outreach to the women in the community, and to go out there and to take them care packages, to minister to them, to show them the love of God. And so we go out there with our t-shirts and our blue jeans and our gym shoes on, and we get in the trenches with them. Because we are a twofold ministry. It's an outreach ministry and it's an organization. And the vision is to open up a home for women. And I see it's coming, but it's a process to that. It's a process to that. People, God has to equip us. We got to have credentials for that. So we at this moment, our goal is to start a rescue mission, Daughter of Destiny rescue mission, to go out there and to get in that thing with those ladies. So that's our goal, and to continue with the fundraising event, having a recovery revival. That's our upcoming event in March. We're going to have a recovery revival, Woman of War, Armed and Dangerous. Come on. And so we're going to, come on. Because we got to set the captives free, right? And so we got to go out to the highways and the byways and compel them to come in. And what? Into the house of God. This is an outreach ministry. It's built on the foundation of Christ. It's a faith-based ministry. It's recovery. It's all that. So that's our goals, is to win souls for Christ. To outreach in the communities, to do Project Warmth. That's another goal we got coming up. Another project that we're going to be doing, going out into the community and passing out scarves, gloves, and hats and hot chili. That's a project that's coming up real soon. The Saturday weekend after Thanksgiving. So basically, that's some of our goals, and the vision is to open up the home. But like I said, it's a process, because God has to equip us. I don't just get to come from the crack house and just start. It's a process. So
exactly. What are first of all, how long has Daughter of Destiny been in existence?
A year. We are a baby, just coming out the womb. Come on. Oh my God, I get excited when I talk about it, because we're just out of the womb, and God is doing amazing things in a year. In a year ago, like I say, it started off at me volunteering at this women's center. God began to speak to my heart. We began to do outreach at the women's center every last Thursday of every other month. And we do a feeding program, and we facilitate a spirituality group with them. And so I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because I know you asked some questions, so I'm trying to stay, base lane. But yeah, and that's how basically it got started out. It started out just like that. And now it's like in a year, we got our 501c3, right? We are tax exempt. We have our EIN number. So God is just showing me that he's going to get ready to do some great and mighty things with Daughter of Destiny. So that's why I got to stay faithful to the vision. When all else fails, I got to keep walking by faith.
And I like the fact that you are letting the listeners know that you are 501c3, that you have filled out your state paperwork, your federal paperwork. So you're not bootleg.
No,
you're not fly
right,
by night.
right.
You know, a lot of people say, I'm going to start something up and I want you to send me some donations and some money. They open up a group, you know, a fund GoFundMe page.
Right.
But you are actually established according to the state. You are able to receive monies as far as donations or in-kind donations. And so we want our listeners to think about partnering with Daughter of Destiny. Be a blessing to them. You hear the purpose, you see the goals that they're trying to accomplish. And so we want someone to say, hey, we want to become involved with Daughter of Destiny. What are the target age range that you are looking at, or is there a target age range?
Well, I would say anywhere from youth to the old age.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because everybody, I can't even put a number on it. I can't, because whoever God sends, whoever He sends that needs the help, and if they're old enough to sign release of information for themselves, then come on. And if you on a cane and you need some help, come on. If I can help you, come on.
And the reason why I asked that was because you mentioned the rescue mission. And unfortunately, we're finding a lot of young teenagers homeless.
Absolutely.
Their parents have put them out. 14, 15 years of age. They might have a baby. Is Daughter of Destiny a place where they can turn to for help?
Yes. Well, I mean, last year, a young lady that was homeless, she was pregnant and she had an arm baby and she was homeless. And Daughter of Destiny provided her with housing. We paid the rent. We got the apartment and we paid the rent until she was able to pay for herself.
And the care package.
All right.
Yeah.
You paid the rent. Found her a place to stay.
Yeah.
Paid the rent. You know, because many places will find you a place to stay, but they're not going to pay you rent.
Yeah.
Well, now, if I could pay my rent, I wouldn't be homeless.
Right.
But you enabled her to get on her feet.
Yeah.
And then take over things on her own. And that's great. That's wonderful. Tell me about the care packages.
And one more thing that I like to interject in on there. We encourage them also to go back to school, especially when they're young, like the lady was that came to us before. And we strongly encourage them to get a trade, go back to school, so they can have some kind of skill behind them in order to maintain their housing.
Right. And so as far as the care packages, what we do, the ladies that's moving out of detox, I mean, just moving out of the shelter into their own apartments, we provide a care package, which includes household products, broom, mop, laundry detergent, you know, whatever they need to get started. You know, food. We do care packages with food. And for those that's going into treatment or into detox, we provide the care package that looks a little different. We have like body wash, underclothes, toothpaste, toothbrushes, you know, for their personal hygiene. So, and, you know, transportation, if they need transportation, we provide that as well. So basically that's what our care package consists of.
And you just mentioned if they're going into treatment, are there any treatment or rehab facility that you have connected with so that these women can be referred to once they come out of?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, then that's great. So that way, when they're done with the treatment, they are not just turned out into the street
again.
Right.
They can be referred to you, and then you can take up from there. Now,
absolutely.
have you ever been in a place where you had to refer people to treatment?
Yeah. The young lady that I worked with, she came to one of the older board members that was with us, that's no longer with us, in the streets. She was struggling with drugs and alcohol. And so she called me and told me about the young lady. And so I began to get in motion and I began to connect with Cynthia. Her name is Cynthia. She's the oldest board member. And so what we did was we provided her to go to detox. We took her care packages. We took her quarters for the phone if she needed to call anybody. And in her detox, we followed up to make sure she was still there. She was doing okay. She did her detox. She went to treatment, and when she after treatment, she went to a recovery home, which was the Salvation Army. And we also provided her with she needed it was in the wintertime, so she needed like underwear, warmers, hats. So we provided those things that she needed, and we kept a emotional connection with her to see where she was at in her recovery. And so, yeah.
All right, I have a question coming through Facebook Live. Oh, never mind. You answered that in the
okay.
discourse that you just gave. Demetria Brand Triplett, we recognize you. We recognize Pastor George Kimbrough, Sister McCowan Williams, and Sister Carol Jones, and so many people are watching. And so a lot of people are hearing and getting this information. And so you have a lot of good stuff that you're providing for the people. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned education, and you're encouraging the people to go back and get their education. Is there a place, or as far as your future goal, is there a place for tutoring, tutoring service?
Yes, it is.
So that's in the future goals?
Well, actually, it's now. We have connected because we connect with other resources in the community, and Pastor Foster has a tutoring session at her house that she started, and she's also involved in these academic education of helping people get their high school diploma, not just a GED, but a high school diploma. Pastor Foster. So we connect with her. So the ladies that come to us, we refer them to her for the education piece, the high school diploma, the tutoring, and so forth and so on.
Great.
Yeah.
I like to hear that. So often they want to just say, hey, put you in this GED program, but to find people that's actually encouraging you to get the actual diploma, and then after you get the diploma, to go on for higher education.
Right.
And that's the thing, because let's face it, you're not going to get a good quality job in this day and time without some type of college education.
You need some college behind you. Absolutely.
Just the diploma is not going to work anymore. Even if you want to move up in McDonald's, you got to have a degree.
It's a diploma.
You sure do.
Yeah.
So we just thank God for your vision that God has given you, because you, like, again, going back to your testimony, you know what is needed. So if I just start something, I might not know what areas to tap into, but and so we're thankful for you. Do you give me a couple of the success stories that you have from Daughters of Destiny? Okay,
we talked about one with helping the lady into treatment from detox treatment recovery, and one of the other ladies that came as we went out to feed the people at the shelter, a young lady. She kind of like clung to me, and I kind of like was her mentor, and so today she's a volunteer for Daughter of Destiny. She has her own apartment, and she's also, she's also in school getting her. She's getting her GED right now as we speak. Oh my God. That's a success story, because I know what her condition was when I met her. And to see somebody that just, sprout up like that, that's like awesome. That gives my heart joy. Oh my God. And then also the other one that I shared about with the lady that was pregnant and needed a place that was homeless, that's another one of our success stories. So yeah.
And I see the emotion, because it has to make you emotional, because to see these people when they first come in.
Yes. And to see them grow.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's just like your baby. You take them in as your own children.
Right.
And then when they go out to be in the world and they can fend for themselves and take care of themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, that's emotional. And we congratulate you on your success and what you're doing, especially in our communities.
Right.
Yes.
When the government is shutting down so many different social service agencies, and shelters are closing up because they're not getting the funding that they need, it's good that Daughter of Destiny outreach can step in, because I can't tell you how many times that I'm talking to people from different churches, and they're looking for a shelter that they can partner with, or a group such as yours that they can just partner in so they can accomplish their outreach mission. And so we're glad that we've crossed paths, because now we can refer them to you. Even my own ministry, I'm going to have one of our workers to, reach out with you guys and see what we can do to help to push this thing forward. And so we want to be a blessing with you guys. Okay. We want to be connected with you. And so we'll be talking about that. And that segues to my next question. How can one become involved in Daughter of Destiny?
Well, I will always say that anybody that has a heart for people, a compassion for people, a call to people, because this is not just like an average job. I'm finna go to work. I'm finna punch this clock and I'm finna get paid. Working with people and ministering to people in this capacity takes a lot of passion, compassion, commitment, sacrifice. Have to have the love of God in your heart to be able to minister and to serve His people. So how do I become involved with Daughter of Destiny? Have the heartbeat of God for His people. I believe that's for anybody, anywhere, any ministry or organization. You have to have the heartbeat of God, because just like what happened when he was walking when Jesus was walking to Calvary, he was spit on and all. People gonna spit on you. They gonna talk about you. They gonna say all manner of things. But I got to keep on loving them with the love of God. I got to keep on giving with the love of God. I got to keep on ministering with the love of God. I got to have the compassion and the love of God in my heart. And if you have that, and if you have a passion for people, that a lot of people say, why can't they just stop? Don't she know she look bad? Why she can't just come off the whole stroll? Instead of going out there and getting down in the trenches with her and tell her how beautiful she are, how much you love her. So that's what you got to have to be on any ministry in my heart.
And you're right. You have to have that love for the people. And it's not about, your type of work, you're not in the spotlight. You don't have the titles.
Need no title.
No one is going to say, ooh, and try to celebrate. If anything, they may try to say, I wouldn't waste my time.
Right.
Well, that's how I came to be in the ministry with her in Daughter of Destiny. Because she saw something in me and asked me to get on board. Would I be on the board? And I was like, sure. And because I come from the same place. Drugs and alcohols had me in the trenches also. So when she talked about the helping of ladies that's still out there struggling, that touched my heart. I'm ready to go. And that's how I came on board.
All right. I have a question. You said you've been up for about a year.
Yeah.
I know you probably don't have an exact figure, but about approximately how many women would you say have come across Daughter of Destiny within a year's time?
Oh, a lot, absolutely. On the bus stops. I mean, out there, I done passed out. I've been ordering business cards. I done gave out business cards. I done bought food. I done took people took them to Old Navy and bought brand new clothes. And I'm not saying this in a boasting way, but that's what they asked me for. And I said God gave, he afforded me to have that. So that's what I talk about, the sacrifice, because they wanted some clothes. They needed some clothes, and I went in my closet. And I got the best things, stuff that I wanted to keep is what I gave her. And then because I had that, I took her to Old Navy and bought her some clothes. You talking about, if you could have just saw her,
So we need to take Daughter of Destiny and duplicate it and filter it throughout the city of Chicago.
Yeah.
We need people like you with the heart of God that's willing, that's not so proud, but you're willing to spend your own money to help someone else. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Yeah. Spending my money. Yeah.
But this is your baby.
That's my baby. That's why I take care of my baby.
I have another question from Demetria Brand Triplet. She says, do you guys have a sponsorship program in place? Some people unfortunately cannot afford to pay for the help that they need. And then her other question is, which I kind of think you already addressed, are you guys set up to receive referrals from the courts when needed? Is there a sponsorship program? Now, first of all, do the people that come across you, because most of them are not in place, are in any shape to pay for anything, right?
Well, let me just say
Right.
this. Daughter of Destiny is a year old, and since this organization been birthed, I've been paying for everything out of my pocket, opposed to fundraising cookies. I fundraise cookies. Listen to me. I fundraise cookies. I was unemployed, but I don't know
What
how
kind of
this
cookies?
famous Amos.
I
They
love
call famous
cookies.
Amos.
I love cookies.
I'm serious. Once I got my with the charitable trust fund, where they allowed you to be able to fundraise without having to pay a fine. I started fundraising famous Amos cookies, and it's been a blessing bringing in. You got to have a what they call it, inflow, increase. You got to flow in. You got to have a revenue. It got to come in. If it's going to go out, you got to have something coming back. So I was fundraising, and some people was giving donations. I was getting donations. Then we got the fundraising, but for the most part, the most of the money came from out of my own pocket. I sacrificed. I'm just me, so. And then I didn't have to pay a whole lot of money for my living expenses. Didn't cost a whole lot, and I thank God for that, because the money that I was getting, I could put that into the ministry, into the organization, and I can help people whatever their needs are. I was able to do that. And as far as them coming to us and they don't have anything, come on, because we have a budget now. We have a budget, and we created this budget. We ain't got no fundings yet from the government or nobody else, but we have a budget. We have our own business account, and we got money in there. So if somebody needs some assistance, that's what that money is for, right? And so yeah, they come to us. We have this ministry. It's called Share Ministry that we are connected with. And this is a ministry that is a retreat ministry, and they take ladies on this spiritual retreat once a year. Awesome retreat. I'm talking about, I guess some of my own deliverance took place on that retreat. And so, yeah, we provide scholarships for women that want to go on the retreat that don't have money. If you don't
That's
have
where.
if you don't have money for transportation, we provide the transportation. But some people come to us and they get disabilities, so they get them little free cards. So we ain't trying to, don't come try to manipulate. But if you really need the funds, we provide it. But yeah.
Awesome. I'm really encouraged because I can honestly say I have not met a group such as yours. I've known other shelters or other organizations like yours, but none that have gone, that extra mile to make sure that they, these women are receive the help that they need.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it's very impressive, and I'm sure that our listening audience, they're very intrigued as well as I am. Now, one thing I found out, as a former educator and dealing with especially young women, I have found out that one of the biggest problems with our young ladies and our young men is the esteem problem, low self-esteem. Low self-esteem will cause you to jump from bad relationship to bad relationship. It will cause you to, in some instances, to start drinking, to start using drugs as an escape mechanism.
Absolutely.
Are there any esteem building components in place? Like when you get these young ladies, how do you deal with their esteem issues?
So this is where the mentorship comes in. This is where the recovery coaching comes in. This is where the spirituality groups comes in. This is where the going back, getting people engaged and going back to school to engage them in a job readiness program, to help them to see further than what they can see for them own selves, and being that support for them. And being, it's not just saying what you need to do, but showing them how to do it. So yeah, basically the spirituality groups, the recovery coaching, the mentorship, those are the components that we use to help build the esteem in the women's that we work with.
Okay. Now, going back, you mentioned the young lady who was pregnant and she had a smaller baby as well.
Mm-hmm.
And what about the young women who come in and they might have a toddler, 3-year-old? You're providing help for the mother, but are there any areas of help that you can provide for the child as far as because children don't always understand things,
Mm-hmm.
and then there are some that are wise and they might feel that uh, that we are just not good enough, especially compared to other children that they see. How do we deal with the children of these women? We're focusing on the women, but how can we focus also or include the children in on that?
Well, actually, to be honest with you, Pastor, I don't. I provided the housing for her, but my expertise is not with child development. Even though I had child development, but that is not my line of expertise, and I don't operate into an area in which I have not been equipped to operate in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a referral.
Okay, so you can refer those to other services,
right?
And that's great, because
that's a referral.
Because many times we're not equipped to handle certain things. So, but if we have someone that we can refer them to where they can get the help, then we're still on the same team.
Right.
See, one thing about it, Daughter of Destiny is just one member of the team. You have other agencies or other groups that you're working with. That's where the team comes in. So the areas that you're not cognizant in or are not equipped to work in, you have somebody on the team that's able to do it.
Right, absolutely.
And so if you were to give yourself a timeline, when do you envision having the rescue home up and running?
The rescue home. Well, the rescue mission or the rescue center is different from the home.
Okay.
And I'm seeing the rescue mission center to be like maybe in the next 6 months. Because I'm getting ready to get a proposal together. I'm getting ready to get some things together. As God speaks to me, I move. And if somebody could give us a place, all we need is a place.
We're working on that now.
The rescue mission is just a center for the women to come and to take a shower, to get a meal, to get some nice clothes, and the services that we provide, the supportive services. Now the home is a totally different thing. That's when the grant money and all this other stuff come into play. So that's a process. But the rescue mission is on the way. I see it.
You said 6 months.
In 6 months. I give myself 6 months.
And we're going to believe God with you for that. And those that are listening, if you have a line on where they can possibly have space or center where they can open up and they can be a blessing to the young women of our community, let's face it. And I'm just going to keep it 100. Especially in this day and time with the political climate the way it is, we are going to have to take care of our own.
Yes, indeed.
Amen. We don't know what's going to happen in the White House, but as people of faith, we're not worried about what's happening in the White House.
That's right.
Because we have someone that sits on the throne.
That's
absolutely.
Right. Of the White
House.
But even in that, we have to be proactive in how we deal with certain things. So if we're providing services for our community, then we need your help in helping these young ladies to find someone or some place where they can operate. Because guess what? We all know somebody who's been homeless or is homeless. We know somebody who's been touched by alcoholism or is an alcoholic, drug addiction, or is an addict. So when you help these ladies, you are helping your loved one, helping your friend, helping your neighbor to receive help as well. Amen?
Amen.
So let's see. Demetria Brand Triplett, she's on fire today. Let's see. She says, do they have a network available for individuals dealing with domestic violence issues when trying to get away quickly and quietly from an abusive situation?
Absolutely. We have referrals, yes.
All right.
Yes, we do.
Because you've been there, so you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in answer to your question, Demetria, yes, they do have a mechanism in place. They have a place, maybe referral agency or what have you. So they are touching a lot of the needs that the young women would have. And I find out that there's a lot of places like this for young women. But I'm praying that somebody will open up something for our young men because they
When I
need.
get married, he will.
Oh. All right, I got you.
Just had to throw that out there, y'all.
When she gets married, he will.
Amen.
We have a few in the city that who I'm trying to work with her too with that because we already have recovery homes for men and women.
Okay.
And Christian recovery homes.
Okay, and I do know of a young lady who has one, I believe, on the west side of Chicago, and maybe actually I'll probably bring her in a couple of weeks to talk about from the men's perspective. But we definitely need something for our young men because just as our young women experience low self-esteem problems, so do our young men.
Yeah.
Our young men, they wake up in the morning angry.
Yeah.
They don't even know why they're angry.
Mhm.
I had a student came to school mad. I said, "What are you mad for?" "I don't know. I'm just mad." And so anger is festering in the hearts of our young men. Now, a lot of it can be society, economics, and then some is just what's going on at home. Whatever the case may be, we have to develop programs for not just our young women, but for our young men because they are our society, and I'm tired of turning on the news and watching our young men and young women being gunned down.
Absolutely.
And just going, just losing their minds. So if we can put certain things in place where these components are designed to help them to become a better person, better themselves educationally, socially, then we have done a great job in doing so. And so what you guys are doing is wonderful. You guys you have raised the bar, in my opinion, for a lot of organizations out there.
Thank you.
I've known organizations such as Lydia House and others, but to me, because you're doing it pretty much just on your own.
Yeah.
Out of your own pockets.
Yeah.
You have not received. You've done more than what people that are actually receiving funding from the government have done. You've done it out of your pocket within 1 year.
Yes.
Within 1 year.
To God be the glory.
And so I can just see bigger and better things for you.
Amen.
So now, what I know you mentioned your church. What help or what support have you received from the church community?
Well, I can say my church, when there's a fundraising event, they support. My church support. My spiritual advisor, I don't want to break no anonymity, but she is awesome. And my Mother Matthew, she's a member of my church. She's the founder of Share Ministry. So they support Daughter of Destiny in a mighty way. My church. And so I don't know how. And you tell them about your church because my church too.
And also at my church, Light of Liberty. No, it's not. It's True Freedom. I'm so sorry. True Freedom. We had a couple of names. So, but True Freedom has also stepped up to the plate and helped out with our fundraising, especially when we had the banquet just recently. And a lot of the members, they bought tickets. Maybe didn't come, but they bought tickets.
Donated.
They donated a ticket, and since they didn't make it, they signed someone else in their place so that they could experience the banquet and the joy that we had in doing it. It was a really nice outcome.
And I know your pastor, Pastor Michael Wright, he's very community minded.
Yes, he is.
He's very community minded, and anything that he can help anyone that's trying to help our people, he'll be a part of that.
Yes, he was.
And I just wanted to ask him because a lot of times people say, and this is one of the reasons why I have this show. A lot of times people say, well, the churches are not doing anything. The churches are not doing this. The church is not doing that. And what I tell people is this: the church is made up of individual members.
Right.
When you have people who belong to a ministry and they receive the support from that ministry
Mm-hmm.
in their own vision that God has given them, such as what you have with Daughter of Destiny, then the church is involved.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely.
You might not see the church,
Right.
the
Yeah.
name of the church on the actual on the actual project,
Mm-hmm.
but they're working behind this and they're helping to put funds
Right.
in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And then you are the representatives of your said churches.
Mhm.
So yes, the church is involved because the church is not the building. The
Right,
church are the
right.
people in the building.
That's right.
Can I
Come
get an
on now.
amen?
Amen. Come on now.
Shout up in here.
And so we
Amen.
just celebrate you guys.
Yeah.
Let me see. Do we have any more questions out here? No. But we just celebrate you guys, and we're very interested in any future endeavors that you may have. Tell us how. Now we talked about how individuals might get involved, but tell us how the churches can partner with you. What do you need from the churches?
Well, actually, basically, I was sharing with Gloria earlier today, the space, having a space to have our events. They provide that, and also to connect. To connect with us and join forces with us in the drives, the coat drive. The toy drive. Those kind
Mhm.
of things will be helpful when the church we could come together as one and provide those services for the people that's less fortunate.
Now
I think.
you just mentioned the toy drive. Are you planning something for Christmas? A toy
Well,
drive or anything?
I haven't thought about no Christmas thing for I won't even be here for Christmas. I will be in Minnesota with my babies for
Okay.
Christmas.
Well, we definitely want to. You let us know when the thing you have the different drives, the toy drives, what have you, because we will help to get the word out, and then I will even go to my church, Victory, and talk to the members. So how can we, let's get something to you guys as part of your drive. You were gonna say something?
Yes, I was going to say something. Also, the building that I live in at Deborah's Place, the CEO of there, she has offered to help Daughter of Destiny.
Right. Yeah.
So she's because it's some things that we get in this she has some things, some backed up things that she can offer. And she already gave me the okay. All we have to do is just get it. It's some toiletries for the ladies.
For the
That's
ladies. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
All right. So our listening audience, please take in all that you have heard, and if you need, if after the show you decide you want to know more, you can also contact me, and I can get in contact with Sister Sandra. But also, keep in mind that even though we're all African American,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what a lot of people in our communities now are not African American. Some are Hispanic,
Right.
Yeah.
some are Caucasian.
That's
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Daughter of Destiny reaches out to everybody.
Everybody.
And they
Everybody.
all colors in the drug and alcohol world.
Oh yeah.
They all
to
are. They
everybody.
all different nationalities. There is no preference when it comes down to alcohol and drugs. It ain't got no preference to choose, and so anybody is liable to fall prey upon that. Or either, and you know what? Sometimes people be homeless and it ain't got nothing to do with alcohol and drugs. Sometimes they can fall down on their luck, lose their job. Because there's some ladies that I know that went down on their luck and winded up living in shelters because of that. And then
Right.
drugs and alcohol didn't have nothing to do with it, but they needed help just as well. The help, the way it come from, it doesn't matter. What matters is the need that need to be met at the time.
That's right.
I just had a vision, and I'll throw it out, this idea out there. Y'all can run with it, but I can just see the community or the church community come together, and you guys having a benefit gospel musical. Having we have a lot of local artists here, right here in Chicago. We have Jonathan McReynolds, we have Todd Delaney, and so many others, and just coming together to benefit Daughters of Destiny. So I want my musician friend. I got a lot of musician friends. I said, listen, somehow we can pull this off. Donald Buster Woods, somehow we can pull this thing off. So listen, this will be something that would be awesome to help out our people. Come on now. Helping out the Daughter of Destiny outreach. They're trying to help our young women, our young girls those that have been turned away,
Mm-hmm.
put out of their home, those that have been hooked on drugs and they're trying to get off, those that are trying to go back and get their education. We want to somehow be a blessing. And they don't have the funds coming in yet, but they are equipped to receive donation. Maybe you want to donate. This is a 501c3 organization. It's fully tax deductible.
Absolutely.
Absolutely tax deductible. In other words, you will be sowing into good ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so we want you to adhere to the call. I'm putting the call out here. Pastor McGee is putting the call out here. I need you to heed the call. How can they reach all of you young ladies? You go first, Sandra.
Okay. You can reach me through email. My email is daughterofdestiny99@yahoo.com. My number is 312-256-5285.
Anybody else?
Well, you can reach me also at the outreach number because me and Sandra, we're in very close contact. We talk often, so she lets me know what's going on in our company. And my number is 773-437-0260. If you need to talk, or you know someone who needs to talk, or needs a place and trying to get back on their feet. My name is Gloria Wilson.
And then we have the secretary. That's the record keeper.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good one too.
I'm the
Thank
secretary.
God
You're the
for her.
secretary. Okay. The treasurer. Oh, she's the
My
money
name is
keeper.
Jackie.
Yeah.
I'm just excited about what God is going to do through this ministry and through Sandra. And I just pray that that you will support this, because I can see the vision, because I myself came from that background, and I went into a Christian recovery home 16 years ago, and God kept me all these years. So my passion is to reach out to other women that down that same road, and you can reach me as well, 708-477-1658. And I can also connect you with our ministry, Victory Outreach Church. We have Christian recovery homes for men and women. If you need help with that, you can call me as well.
And I'm glad that you mentioned Victory Outreach, because for years I've heard of Victory Outreach. I've seen some of their members out on the street reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
They have a dynamic and far-reaching outreach ministry in the city of Chicago.
Yes.
And so we want you to connect with these ladies, because not only will you connect with them, you'll connect to the various ministries that are prevalent in their organization.
Absolutely.
Now, what's your staff size?
What you see.
This is it.
This is only the beginning.
And we have volunteers. This is the core of the board members. She's the assistant treasurer. We have a treasurer. She's not here. Her name is Kim Miller. She's not here. She's a master's student in college, and she have a very busy schedule, so she wasn't able to be with us today. She's the treasurer. So we have a lot of volunteers.
Okay.
A lot of volunteers, but this is it right here.
But you need more volunteers.
We need more volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when they volunteer, just a few hours out the day, or what?
Well,
how do you...
the volunteers, like when we're doing the outreach, we're going to be doing right after the weekend after Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing our Project Warmth. We're going to go out into the community. We're going to do hot chili, scarves, gloves, and hats to the peoples in the community. And so we're going to be looking for them to buy them in the bulk so we can pass out as many as we can. And so we're going to need volunteers for that. We're going to need volunteers when we go out to the women's home to feed the homeless. We're going to need volunteers for that. And, so basically that's what we need our volunteers for.
All right, so everybody here, they need volunteers. The big event coming up after Thanksgiving, the Project Warmth. They're going to be passing out chili, things of that nature. Listen, they need some of those items.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they also need some people to help go out. I remember a few years ago, I was a part of organization, Victory Fellowship, and we went out to minister to the people on Lower Record Drive.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that the men would say, we took food out there, coats and things of that nature.
Right.
But one of the things that the young man was saying was that the food is great, but they said canned food really doesn't do them any good unless it's a pop-up lid, because they don't have can openers. And they said, but really what they can use is money. And I said, we thought about that. And before we left, this is a true and accurate story. Before they left, it was about 15 of us that went out there and spent that whole evening out there with the men on Lower Drive. Wasn't a lot of women, mostly men. And when they told us, the guy said, we need money. We started praying. And we were at the last stop, and we were ready to go. We wanted to pray, close out in prayer. The minute we stopped praying, and this was around the holiday season, about 3 or 4 black SUVs pulled up. And these black guys jumped out. And it said, we want to share some holiday cheer. And they just started passing out $50 bills.
Wow.
Just $50 bills.
Wow.
God answers prayer, and sometimes it comes immediately. The next year we went out there, saw some of the same guys. They were still holding on to the Bibles that we had passed out the year beforehand. Yeah. One of the young men, he was interviewed by the Chicago Sun-Times because they were doing an expose on the homeless. And in that shot, in that picture, he had the Bible in his hand. His name was John. I remember that like it was yesterday. And this was close to 20 years ago. Wow. He had the Bible in his hand, and he wouldn't let it go. So you don't know how your act of love and kindness, how far-reaching it's going to go.
Oh, yes.
So let's all become a community of one and go out there and help our people.
Yes.
This is the true ministry of the body of Christ. And so we just thank God for you being here. And thank God for you. We're going to probably have you back on right before maybe one of your big events. We'll bring you guys back on to really push that and to see what kind of response we can get. Yeah. God bless everybody for listening to Connections. Feel free to stop by Victory Temple every Sunday morning from 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. We're located at 2000 West Roosevelt Road in Broadview, Illinois, in the Community Presbyterian Church building. On Wednesday, we have our Bible class from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Amen. Stay tuned for I Have a Voice right here on IntellectualRadio.com.